Monday. Happy New Week. Well, it's June, what, 9th? 8th? 9th? It's June 9th. I can't keep up. I meant to read the calendar before I came to work. Guess what? This is Wayne Goldsboro Television, and I'm Wayne Alley.
And I'm Kim Best. Good Monday morning. Read the calendar before you come to work.
I should read the calendar before I even attempt. Don't try this at home.
Always look at your calendar before you start your day.
Calendar first. It's June 9th. On this day, the year was 1934. Ah, yes, I remember it well. Walt Disney's most famous duck made his first appearance. 1934. Now, that's an old duck.
1934.
Yeah. He started as a bit player. You understand that?
Yes.
Started as a bit player.
I hear you.
The name of the film was The Wise Little Hen.
Oh, my.
Donald went on to quack his way into mischief and stardom in a total of 127 cartoons and features before his final appearance in 1961. The irascible duck, known the world over, and is the best recognized Disney creation after Mickey Mouse.
I was going to say, now, whoa, how about Mickey?
Yeah, oh, yeah. First is Mickey. Everybody knows Mickey. And then Donald, and then, I guess, Goofy.
Really? You think Goofy's third? Just wondering.
Well, he is to me. I mean, I like Goofy a lot. I can relate to Goofy.
You like Goofy?
I like Goofy. I thought everybody liked Goofy.
Yeah. He's pretty good.
Yeah, he is. He is.
But
then there's so many others.
And, you know, as the years go on, the development has just gotten a little bit overwhelming.
Yeah, it is kind of overwhelming. It is indeed. All right. Well, let's see. Who's on today's program there, Kim?
I'm going to let you talk about it because I think you did the interview.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, yes. This is the Office of Emergency Services. Representatives will be here. I believe it's Kevin. Kevin Whitley of Environmental Health will be with us, and Brian Taylor, the County Fire Marshal, will be with us. We're going to be talking about hurricanes. This is hurricane season. We are in the beginning throes of it now. June 1 was the opening day of hurricane season. And, of course, we here in North Carolina are very familiar with hurricanes.
For sure.
So we're going to be talking about that, and we're going to be talking about how to prepare for a hurricane, what you should be doing during a hurricane and afterwards as well. So,
is it true?
Yes.
That we have been told that this year we have the possibility of maybe less hurricanes for our area?
The people that do that sort of thing, yes.
The predictions?
The predictions, the people that are the predictors are saying we should have
We should be less affected.
We should be less affected. We should have fewer hurricanes. But now these are the same.
How strong they'll be.
These are the same people who also say that we're going to have more hurricanes, and then we end up not having as many as we had the year before. So who knows?
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah. Hey, it's the roll of the dice.
Yes, for sure.
So it's. But anyway, that's the good news, is that we may have fewer. Although there's almost always predicted major hurricanes, so we're not out of the woods by any means. So you want to pay close attention to this interview coming up today.
Well, thank you, sir.
Well, you're quite welcome.
I'll take that back.
Okay, that's yours.
Thank you.
All right. Birthdays.
You got any good ones?
I do. Jackie Mason is a funny man.
Oh, yeah.
He's been around a long time. He's a very funny man. Born this day, 1931, along with Joe Santos, born the same day. Joe Santos, if you don't know the name, is a very talented character actor.
It sounds familiar, but
I best know him from the Rockford Files. You remember Rockford Files?
Certainly do.
He played Dennis, the police officer, the police lieutenant. Joe Santos having a birthday. Also a birthday today for Dick Vitale, sportscaster. Michael J. Fox is having a birthday.
How old is Michael J. Fox?
Michael J. Fox was born this day, 1961, which make him
Really?
43?
No, he's 53.
I mean 53. I'm sorry.
Catch up, man.
Yeah,
Catch up, man.
Catch up. Yes, please. Catch up here. Catch up. 1961. Michael J. Fox. His middle name is. What's she laughing at? Look over there. She's just rolling over. All right. Michael J. Fox's middle name is.
What, James?
Andrew.
Oh, what's the J for?
Well, it seems that there was another Michael Fox, and so he.
Why wasn't he Michael A. Fox?
I don't know how old he is.
I didn't ask you how old he was. I said, why is, pay attention, man.
What?
I said, why does
Who
he
are
have
you?
Michael J. Fox instead of Michael A. Fox?
I have no idea. Yes, I do. There was another Michael A. Fox.
Oh,
See,
there you
he
go.
couldn't use a Michael A. Fox.
So we just made up a J.
Yeah, just like I'm making this story up.
Okay.
Here. Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, Johnny Depp having a birthday. He's 2 years younger.
Well, how about that? Then what, Michael J. Fox?
Michael A. Fox.
Michael A. Fox.
And Natalie Portman, the actress,
Oh, yeah.
was born this day, 1981.
She's born in 81?
She's born in 81.
Oh, she's young.
Look who's talking. Yeah. All right. Anyway, she's an actress. Mars Attacks, Prince of Egypt, Star Wars Episode 1. Anyway, she's done a bunch of other stuff as well.
She certainly has. Well, guess what's coming to Goldsboro in Wayne County?
Elvis.
Well, yes, he is too.
Oh, yeah, that's
Actually, he's coming to the Paramount this fall for United Way.
That's right. But what is coming to Wayne County? Pray tell. Hello.
Have you heard of the game Cornhole?
Oh, sure.
It's like a beanbag toss.
That is so popular. It's
taken
the whole country by storm.
Absolutely. It has become a phenomenon across the United States.
Yeah, a phenomenon. What she said.
That word?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Well, the North Carolina State Championship of Cornhole is coming to Goldsboro.
Really?
Yes, on June the 27th and 28th.
Whoa.
Yes, we'll have it in 2 locations. We'll have it downtown on the 27th, and on the 28th, the finals will take place at Goldsboro Family YMCA. So the June 27th and 28th North Carolina State Championship for Cornhole. Mark your calendars.
Wow.
It is happening here.
Here in Goldsboro,
Wayne
County, North Carolina, USA, Earth.
That's right.
All right.
Well, let's go from the cornhole game to hurricanes. Let's go learn a little bit about it.
I like that. That's good, yeah. Recently, we all experienced June 1st. Now, why is that special? That's special because that's the beginning of hurricane season here in the eastern part of the U.S. of A. And here in the studio with us today from the Office of Emergency Management is Brian Taylor and Kevin Whitley. And you gentlemen with the Office of Emergency Management, you're actually the fire marshal.
Fire marshal.
And you're with the Department of Environmental Health.
Yep.
But today, we're going to be talking about hurricanes.
Yes. Yes, sir.
All right, now, Brian, start us off here. Tell us about what we can expect this year as far as hurricanes go.
Well, this year, the outlook for the 2014 Atlantic hurricane season, they're predicting a 50% chance for below normal activity this year, which is a great thing for us.
That is good news.
But keep in mind that is just a prediction. You know, we've had years where they predicted above normal and into below normal, so it just depends on the weather and those characteristics of what we really get. But they're really only calling for 8 to 13 named storms this year, 3 to 6 of those being hurricanes and 1 to 2 being major hurricanes.
Those numbers are approximately half of what we have had in the past. And in the past, they when they predict X number of storms here for the last several years, in fact, we haven't had a problem. I remember the last major was, of course, Floyd in '99.
Yes.
We've had smaller storms since then. Nothing to the tragic experience we had from Floyd, but these predictions are subject to adjustments, shall we say?
Yes, they are. There again, they're nothing more than a prediction.
So,
and they can change at any point in time.
So prepare for the worst and hope for the best.
That's right.
So what do we do?
Well, as far as preparing, one thing that we always try to get out, not only us here in the county, but also throughout the state, is everyone needs to be prepared to self-sustain for at least 36 hours. And for 36 hours, but prepare for 5 days.
Prepare for 5 days?
Prepare for 5 days. You know, these storms, just because they're predicting a below normal doesn't mean that we won't get hit with a major hurricane or anything of that nature. But you know, most of our problems with hurricanes is power outages, which is extremely it's a major event, especially during these times of year because of the heat and humidity afterwards, and without having air conditioning, those kinds of things. But you need to prepare for at least 36 hours, but plan for up to 5 days without any electricity and to be able to sustain yourself.
Okay. Now, where do these storms come from, or how do they come to us? And when they do, how much advance notice do we have that we have a potential for danger?
Yeah. The storms generate, of course, down in the Caribbean. And once they name a storm, we start keeping an eye on it, you know, as well as the National Hurricane Center does. We kind of keep a track on it as what the storm's doing and which way they're predicting it to move. And as it gets closer and it looks like it's going to make that turn up and come up the eastern part of the United States, the state agencies are keeping an eye on it. And then if it looks like that we're going to get any kind of landfall and the weather's going to affect us at any kind, we start having conference calls with the state, preparing for whatever needs to be done and keeping a real close eye on that. Then once it gets about 48 to 72 hours out and we're going to have an impact, a major impact, we'll be monitoring the storm just about hour for hour after that. We'll get updates from National Hurricane Center, just like, you know, all the other news stations do, but we'll get it a little bit before it comes out into the public. But we'll keep a real close eye on it, and as the storm changes, and that depends on the impact that we're going to have, depends on what we're going to do from that point.
So we'll know 2 to 3 days, 48 to 72 hours prior to what's called landfall. Now, the problem with hurricanes is that we're talking about the center of the storm, the eye of the storm.
Center of the storm.
The problem with hurricanes is that the hurricane force winds can reach out to a couple of 100 miles.
Yes.
So we will feel the effects of the hurricane long before the eye ever gets to us.
Yes, yes.
In fact, if you look at the map here behind us, that map, you see North Carolina kind of juts out into the Atlantic Ocean. We're very susceptible to any storm coming up the East Coast.
Yes, we are. The way North Carolina sits out, we're just about destined to get hit by any hurricane that comes up the East Coast.
Oh, they love us.
You know, we enjoy it when it comes up and then makes that right-hand turn.
It makes a right turn and goes away like Dennis did. You remember Dennis, Hurricane Dennis from some years ago?
Yes.
He turned right and stood there for a while,
and then
came back
into us. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
and that's the unpredictability with the storms.
Exactly.
You know, they do a very good job at predicting landfall, but they can shift at any point in time, and just 50 miles one way or the other for us is tremendous.
Tremendous difference.
Because if we're on that west side of the storm, we're in good. We're in better shape. In better shape, and if we end up on that east side of the storm, which is the worst side of the storm, especially the northeast.
So if the eye of the storm ends up going to the west of us, the Smithfield, Raleigh-Durham area, if the eye is over in that side, we're going to get hit pretty hard.
Yeah, that's the worst side of the storm to be on, and of course when Fran come through, it went just west of us.
Just west of us, yeah.
Floyd went just west of us, which Floyd was a whole lot slower in pace and that kind of thing is one reason we got so much rain with Floyd. But yeah.
And the people will think back, Floyd moved through and the hurricane was bad enough, and then it took about 2 days for the river to rise above flood stage and actually flood the area.
Yeah.
But what about preparation? What do we need to do 2 to 3 days beforehand to get ready for any sort of hurricane activity?
You know, you want to make sure you got batteries, flashlights. You want to have enough drinking water, at least 1 gallon per person. Because sometimes, you know, even though the county pretty much has county-wide water system now, doesn't mean that that water's going to be there all the time. Power outages and that kind of thing can affect the availability of the water.
Water and many other things as well, including fuel for vehicles.
Fuel for vehicles.
ATMs.
Know, yes. You want to make sure you go, you know, a day or 2 ahead of time, fill your vehicles up with gas, get extra cash just in case you need it, because if power's out for multiple days, you're not going to be able to get cash. The banks are not going to be open. The ATMs are going to be shut down. And it goes the same way with cell phones. You know, everybody's reliable on their cell phones these days, and a lot of people don't even have a phone in the home anymore.
That's true.
So you need to be prepared for that too.
Make sure your cell phone's charged.
If power goes down, of course, cell phone companies have generators at their cell sites, but if they can't get fuel for those generators, then those cell sites are going to eventually go down. You're not going to have any service. Your phone's going to die. You're not going to be able to charge it. So you need to be prepared for that and how you're going to communicate, and make sure you have a radio that's battery operated so you can keep up with not only what's going on during the storm, but after the storm also.
Okay. Water. You need 1 gallon per person and enough to last you 3 days.
Yes.
So if you have a family of 4, that's 4 gallons per day times 3 days. You need 12 gallons of water approximately.
Yes.
More is better, I guess.
More is better.
You can always use it.
You can always use the water.
Okay. Make sure your cell phones are charged. Make sure you have gas in your vehicles. Make sure you have cash in your pocket. Any kind of prescriptions?
Any prescriptions that you may need.
Extra pair of glasses?
Glasses.
And what about food?
Plenty of non-perishable food.
Okay.
You want to make sure you have that. If everyone's like I normally am, during these times, your freezer's full of food, and you lose power. You eat better during the hurricane you do any other time of the year, because you're wanting to cook everything and eat it, but so it don't go bad. So, but plenty of non-perishable food. Make sure you plan for what you're going to do in an emergency. If you have to evacuate, where you're going to go.
Okay.
How are you going to get there? What route you're going to take? Make sure you have an alternate route of how you're going to get there, because during hurricanes, you got power lines down, trees down, and of course, if the authorities come in to evacuate you, they'll get you out to where you need to be. If you do get evacuated, do not go back home until the authorities tell you it's safe to go back. So,
because there could be any number of reasons that they would not want you to go back. There could be flooding, there could be animals, it could be for any reason.
Yeah, it could be a whole bunch of reasons of why it wouldn't be safe to go back to your home at a particular time. So.
And while all this is going on, if you just simply think about what you would do if there is no electricity at your home, think about non-electric can openers. Think about lights. You'll want to have plenty of flashlights with you, and the newer LED lights are just absolutely great now. They last longer. They put out a good light as compared to, say, the dry cell batteries.
Yeah. And one thing too, people, a lot of people went out and bought generators after Fran. A lot of people still have generators.
And some have not been used since then.
And some have not been used since then.
That's right.
There again, with generators, you got to have gas.
That's right.
You got to have plenty of gas, so make sure you get prepared for that. But during Fran, we had a lot of calls of carbon monoxide poisoning, where people would put the generators in the garages to keep people from stealing them and that kind of thing. And you don't want to put the generator inside or anywhere near a window or anything where those fumes are going to get back in the house.
Very dangerous.
So they need to take caution when they're using those kinds of things.
It's like pulling your car inside the house.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
All right. So be cautious. Read about it. Read about what you need to do to help keep your family safe. have an alternate route. What about contacting someone away from the area?
Yeah, contact, you know, you want to have a family contact that's not from this area. You don't want to have a family contact, especially if you got people that stay out of state. And of course, when a natural disaster hits, of course, they're wanting to get in touch with you to see what's going on, make sure everything's okay. There again, with the power outages and no phone service and so on and so forth, you really need if you have family outside the area. They say, you know, outside the state, but you know, a lot of people don't have that outside the state.
Well, this is a wide state.
You know? Yeah. If you got, you know, family members in the western part of the state, or Virginia or South Carolina or something, it's good to have to point one of those as your contact person. So other family members will know to contact them, and you'll get in contact with them as soon as you can.
So everybody should know to call Aunt Martha in Greenville, South Carolina, or Knoxville, Tennessee, to let them know that you're okay. And if the whole family has that number, if you're separated, if your family's separated, you want to be sure and have that number.
Yes.
To let other family members know you're okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What about after the storm, Kevin?
Okay. Well, getting back to what Brian was talking about, as far as like your refrigerators and your freezers, as far as the food, a refrigerator, if you keep it closed, a whole temp, meaning below 45 degrees, for 18 hours. And then after that 18 hours, and it's not able to keep the food at 45 degrees or less, you need to, like I say, cook it or throw it away. Now with a freezer, a deep chest freezer, it'll stay, keep everything frozen for up to 48 hours. And then after that, you need to either cook it or throw it away. That would be the big thing, as far as people ask, you know, well, what's safe in the refrigerator? What should I need to do? Now, granted, that 18 and 48 is with it closed and you taking the power off and you're not opening and closing the door. So that's could be very variable about how long it'll hold. Just depends on how much you open the door. And then the also mentioning drinking water, you know, a gallon per person. Well, say you run out of water. If the water system or your well has lost pressure and it's exposed to flood water, you can pretty much guarantee that flood water has seeped in there. And so you need to then take precautions as far as, okay, it's not safe to drink, so then you can, if you don't have any bottled water and all you have is what's coming out of the tap or your well, then you need to basically boil it for at least 1 minute, and then it'd be safe to use to brush your teeth and to drink and to cook with. And then if you don't have any way to boil it, you can mix 1/4 teaspoon of just bleach, plain bleach, not scented or anything like that, to 1 gallon, and shake it up really good and let it sit for 30 minutes. And then that would be safe to drink and cook.
Boy, that would be a last resort to me.
Yes,
you
sir.
know, that,
Yes, sir.
I cannot imagine what that would, to drink flood water that's been purified with 1/4 teaspoon of bleach. Yuck.
Well, that's not flood water. It'd be coming from the tap or whatever.
But
still. You have to be concerned that, like say, the water has been contaminated.
Yeah, you want to play it safe.
That's right.
Again, better to have a little more water than you think you might need.
Yes, sir.
All
yes,
right.
sir.
All right.
And then as far as the other thing, as far as you're dealing with worried about your food, your water, the two main things, food and water. And then, okay, what do I do to go back in the home if it's been exposed to flood water?
Right.
And you have to assume that the flood water is contaminated with sewage and chemicals and things like that. So when you go re-enter your home, you need to wash everything down with soapy water and then rinse it off, and then come back with a mixture of a cup of bleach per 4 gallons of water. And then what you would do is disinfect everything, all your hard surfaces like your floors, your countertops, cabinets, anything that's a hard surface that's washable. You would do that. And then as far as any porous materials like your sofa, carpet, that stuff's going to have to be removed because there's no way to really clean that. And so you just need to get rid of it.
Get rid of the carpet. Get rid of any sort of drapery or upholstery materials that might have
Well,
gotten
draperies you can wash, you know,
Well, yes,
like
you
your
can,
curtains
yeah.
and things like that. But carpet, any upholstered furniture, you need to get rid
I
of.
tried to wash my sofa once. It didn't work.
Yeah, it wouldn't. I don't think so.
I couldn't get it back out of the washing machine.
Yeah,
It was,
that's
it was
right.
a terrible
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
Listen, if you had one final thing that is most important to tell people about preparation for the storm, what would you tell them?
Well, you know,
A couple
there
of things,
again, a couple things is plan ahead.
Plan ahead.
Plan ahead, and pay close attention to the forecast. Forecast is in the track of the storm is going to be a major player in exactly what you really need to be planning for.
Okay, Kevin.
There again, if anything comes into contact with floodwater, consider it contaminated and treat it as such.
And treat it as such. Just be prepared. Don't panic. Have a contact. Non-perishable foods. Non-electric can opener. Flashlights. Prepare to leave the premises if you have to quickly, and have plenty of water.
Yes.
And there's other things as well. You can go to the American Red Cross website. They have preparation. Also, the FEMA website has preparation suggestions, and I would think that we have something as well.
Yes, we have that on the website also.
All right, excellent. That's WayneGov.com, and you can click on the link to the Office of Emergency Management, which is where we have Brian Taylor and Kevin Whitley this morning. Guys, thank you so much for being with us this morning. Good information about that, and we will ask you to please be safe and listen to broadcasts about any sort of storm activity headed our way. All right, now that's all good advice. I hope you wrote some of it down, or at least remember. Most of it is common sense, for crying out loud.
Yeah, but sometimes we do need to write things down, make a list, and refer back to it, especially when you're nervous or you're in an emergency situation. It's nice to have it written on pen and paper.
That's true. If you will go to redcross.org or FEMA.gov or to, in fact, WayneGov.com and click on the Office of Emergency Services, you'll find a list of things to do prior to hurricane. Okay, just again, it's just plain common sense. Don't drive around in this mess,
Right?
Because it's so easy for cars to be swept off the road, and that's happened here in Wayne County.
It certainly has.
During one of the major hurricanes a few years back, there was a life lost because they were riding in an area that was flooded.
And you just don't think it will happen to you, and you think your car can make it through, and you don't always realize how deep the water is. And then it takes your car and you lose control.
And this happened before the street was closed.
Right.
They were going to close the street, and before they were closed, somebody went down into a deep area, and the car was washed off, and that person died.
That's right.
So again, common sense. Protect yourself. Be prepared. That's all I can say. And don't panic. You panic, you're going to be in trouble. All right. Let's see what else we have here. What else we have here?
Well, we've got a live soccer tournament coming to Goldsboro as well. It's called 3v3 Live Soccer Tour. It's coming to Goldsboro on June 14th.
Yeah.
3v3 soccer is a fun and fast-paced format.
3v3.
There's teams of 4. Anyone can join this group if you want to compete. As long as you have 4, it's ages 6 to adult, can participate. Everybody gets a t-shirt, medals for all of the top teams that win. To find out more information about this, you can go to 3v3live.com.
V as in
Victor.
Andrew, huh?
What?
Oh, V as in Victor.
3v3live.com. So this can be adult teams, children's teams from 6 to adult. It's happening on June 14th, 3v3 soccer.
Oh boy.
Coming to Goldsboro.
Live soccer.
That's right. You know, versus not live. Yeah, we're just on a roll today.
You know, last weekend, over the weekend,
yes.
John and Carl,
yes,
our pitmasters.
Yes.
You know, these guys are state champions.
Yes, they are. And you know, they hold that title for 4 years.
Is that right?
They certainly do.
I didn't know that.
So proud of them.
I know. Carl Lewis and John Kearney, these guys are really, really amazing pitmasters.
They certainly are.
And coming up, I got an email here that says that the next viewing
was this past Saturday night.
Was this past Saturday night.
Right.
That's right. But now, where they're going to be, it says the title will remain with the Wayne County Boys over the next 4 years, like you say.
Yes.
We're going to get these guys on
yeah,
TV
we're going to get to come and talk to us and find out what happened. They were competing for that national title.
They went for the national thing.
They certainly did.
The national. I mean, you know, that's like from coast to coast.
Really? The whole United States?
Kid you not.
Yes, they did compete for the national title of Pitmasters. We'll find out more about them because we're going to have John and Carl on the show to tell us all about the competition, how different it was from a state level to a national level.
State to national.
Yeah. We'll find out more about it very soon.
Coast to coast.
Wow. Proud of those guys, though. And they have local businesses right here in Goldsboro.
Well, yeah, and I'm not going to mention Carl and Shell's out on Corporate Drive there, just off the bypass. Or I'm not going to say anything about Hall and Hog on North John Street, right behind University Lights, because if I did, you know, it wouldn't be fair. So
people would bombard them with business. Because they really have fabulous food.
They certainly do. All right. Anyway, that's I can't wait to get those guys on.
That's right.
Okay, Connecticut.
Yes.
Kinetic.
Okay.
Kinetic Minds is offering outstanding junior and senior math and science students the opportunity to earn a $1,000 stipend by working as a STEM camp counselor at Kinetic Minds this summer.
Oh, yeah, I've heard all about that.
How about that? So if you...
Yes.
are kinetic.
Yes.
Or from Connecticut. No, it can be, you can be from anywhere. But if you're 16 or older, high school, junior, or senior with a 3.0, be good at math or science, have a good school behavior record, and be able to work on certain dates, then call 919-922-3154, 922-3154, or go to kineticmindsnc.org.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Science and math. That's what it's all about.
Math. We got to go.
Nah, we do.
We got to go. We're going to do this again tomorrow, and I'm still trying to figure out what it is we're doing. But anyway, we're going to do this again tomorrow. We'll be back at whatever time you're watching right now. So join us again tomorrow. And until then, I'm Wayne Alley.
And I'm Kim Best, and this is what's happening in your community.